Hey there, I'm Brian. Welcome to Brian Gray Yoga. This is the first in a series of videos on self-care for restaurant workers. So if you or someone you know works in a restaurant, you're going to find some great tips here to address some of the physical and mental stressors that arise as a result of working in a restaurant. We're going to go throughout the entire body throughout the series, and today we're going to start from the ground up. So we're going to work a little bit on the feet and lower legs, okay? Do these little exercises regularly. I'm pretty confident you'll notice a big difference in the overall health of your mind and body. And these are funneled through a yoga mindset because I teach yoga, but you don't have to do yoga or have ever done yoga to be able to benefit from this stuff, okay? So let's get started. All right, so I've moved back a couple feet. I'm on the mat now, and I've got a block here under my bum. I wanted you to be able to sit comfortably with your feet together and your knees wide apart, okay? So you can either sit directly on the floor, on a mat, on a block, in a chair. Really, you could do this virtually anywhere. We're going to take just a moment here, and you're going to give yourself a foot massage. So like I said, this is self-care tips, not necessarily yoga. So you're going to take your thumbs here and you're going to start at the front of the heel of the foot. And we're going to make little concentric circles, okay? And you're going to track down toward each individual toe, and we're going to make a total of 5 passes. Okay, so you're going to track down toward each one of your toes, you know, unless, you know, maybe you don't have 5 toes on each feet. I'm not here to judge, okay? So you can really get in there as little or as much as you want, and we're just trying to kind of warm up the foot a little bit. And I can already tell that, like, I've been spending a lot of hours on my feet lately. And while you're doing this here and listening to me talk at you, slow down your breathing. Take a couple big, smooth, deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Good. You can relax your shoulders a little bit more. Take one more big, deep breath in as you maybe you're tracking down toward that last pinky toe. And a big exhale. Good. And hopefully you've gone down through each individual metatarsal or toe. And that's step 1. Step number 2, we're going to get in between the toes with your fingers. And I'm going to remind you after you do this video to wash your hands. And if you work in a restaurant, you probably know that you should wash your hands pretty often anyway. Okay. So we're going to take the fingers and weave them between each of the toes. And depending on how tight your feet are, this may be a little bit more difficult. But I want you to really get in there, okay? And again, it might be beneficial to do this before a long shift, not at the end of a long day, unless you showered. Okay, so I really want you to press your fingers down into the webbing of the toes. Okay, get a nice deep acupressure in there. And as you continue to do this, give a little bit of downward pressure. We're going to connect this up with a little bit of breath because, like I said, you don't need to know how to do yoga, but breath and movement, breath and body are connected. So as you inhale, I want you to open the fingers nice and wide. Spread them, spread them, spread them. And then as you exhale, I want you to squeeze and press down between the toes and give your foot a nice little squeeze there, okay? Let's do that a couple more times. Inhale, open your fingers nice and wide. Exhale, squeeze in and press. Good, let's do that one more time. Relax your shoulders, mine are creeping up. Inhale, open the fingers wide. Exhale, squeeze and give it a little press. Good, and then get your fingers out of there. Give the foot a little bit of shake out. And then we got to do the other side. Okay. So we're going to weave in between each of the toes here. And this will require less explanation when we do things on second side, right? So you get in there, press down a little bit, get used to that feeling. If you're not used to touching your feet, this can be kind of weird, right? And you're probably doing this by yourself, so no one's watching you touch your feet. It's fine. So at least I hope no one's watching you. Inhale, open your fingers wide. Exhale, squeeze and press down. Good. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, nice and big. Open the fingers, spread the toes. And then exhale, squeeze and press down. 1 more. Inhale, nice and deep. And exhale, squeeze. Good. Get your fingers out of there. Give that foot a little bit of shake, shake, shake-a-roo. Lovely. So the reason I do this to kind of warm up the foot a little bit, to get it kind of more pliable, because as we spend a lot of downward pressure walking around a busy restaurant or spending long hours on our feet, the feet can get a little more recalcitrant and tensed up, okay? So the goal here is to kind of open and loosen things up to create more pliability throughout the whole foot. Without getting too much into the weeds, there are 26 bones in your feet, and there are little spaces between all those bones, and as the feet become more tense, as you put more pressure on them, they actually get more tense, right? So we're just trying to relax things a little bit and open them up more. Because if your feet are kind of like little blocks, like plodding around, that tense energy is going to affect the whole chain all the way up the body as you move throughout your day. So we're trying to loosen things up a bit. Okay. And I know I said this is going to be 5 to 7 minutes. I'm already running long. So I might have to just cut that part out or put some like little message on like, haha, fooled you, I was wrong. So the next thing we're going to come up, you're going to come up onto your knees here. Okay. And I want your knees to be together. You can see that. Turn. Your knees are going to be together. Your hips are going to be over your knees. Okay. And then you're going to tuck your toes underneath. And then you're going to sit your bum down onto your heels. Alrighty? And adjust a little bit so that it's reasonably comfortable. Shifting the toes around a little bit. And then we're going to take a moment here to settle in. If you need to pad your knees, pad your knees. If this particular position is problematic for any number of reasons, knee pressure, ankle pressure, hip back, whatever, you can kind of come forward a little bit, support yourself with your hands, and you kind of get a little pulses, presses back, okay? Otherwise, bring the chest up over the hips. Rest the hands on the thighs. Let's go ahead and do a couple shoulder rolls here. So here we're putting a lot of pressure on the middle of the foot where the plantar fascia is. You may have heard the term plantar fasciitis. That's like a malady that happens in the foot when things get really, really tight and tense and painful in there. Okay, so we're just trying to open things up a little bit, roll the shoulders back one more time. Good, soften the forehead, and then we'll roll the shoulders forward a few times. And the longer you spend here, you might start to feel a little bit more pressure, that those toes are opening up, the bottom of the foot is kind of relaxing a little bit into it. It's not necessarily comfortable, but it is beneficial. Take one more big, deep breath in. Good, and then exhale, come forward onto the hands, untuck the toes, and give the feet just a little tap out, the tops of the feet on the floor. Annoy your downstairs neighbor. And then bring your knees together, and this is going to be a little tricky, so pay close attention. The knees are together, heels are together. Step your right knee back just a couple of inches. Good. And now you're going to lift your right ankle up, the foot, and place the front of the ankle into the arch of your left foot. If you're not familiar with the arch of the foot, that is the middle part of the foot. Right? Yeah. So the front of the ankle is going into the arch of the foot. I teach this pretty regularly in my public classes, and sometimes this gets lost in translation. So the front of the ankle into the arch of the foot. And then now, similarly to what we just did, you're going to sit your bum down onto your heels. And holy cow. It might take you a little bit of maneuvering with that top foot and the bottom foot to find a spot. You might have to move a little up, down, or side to side. But once you find a spot, you'll know it, because I just found one. It's kind of hard to talk and do this at the same time. Again, this isn't necessarily enjoyable or pleasurable, but it is beneficial. What we're doing now is getting some really deep acupressure into that area of the foot I mentioned before, the plantar fascia. So settle in here, rest the hands on the thighs. And again, just keep taking a few slow, smooth, deep breaths while I continue to talk at you. If this is too intense for any reason, if you're like 5-alarm fire going off in your brain, alarm bells, kind of come forward and pulse back a little bit, okay? Actually, the pulses feel quite nice. Go ahead and take a couple more slow, smooth, deep breaths, resting the hands on the thighs, maybe closing the eyes. And even though it's an intense feeling, right, you can soften through the brow. Take a breath. Soften through the jaw and tongue. Take a nice deep breath in. And a soft breath out. Good. And then nice and easy. If the eyes were closed, blink them open. Come forward into the hands and knees and untuck. Get yourself out of there. And then same deal other side. Step that left knee back a couple of inches. Put the front of the left ankle into the arch of the right foot and settle down. Couple of deep breaths. I can tell I haven't been doing this nearly enough for myself. So even, wise yoga teachers can forget to take care of their bodies and minds sometimes, right? Few deep breaths here. Settle in. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. Maybe get a little lift and broadness to the chest. Let your eyes close if you feel comfy doing that. And take a few slow, smooth, deep breaths. In through the nose. And out through the mouth. Good. And let's deepen the breath a little bit more. As you inhale, fill up your belly. Then fill up your ribs. Then fill up your chest with air all in one big deep breath. And then exhale. Blow all the air out completely. We're going to do that one more time here. Inhale, fill up the belly, ribs, and chest until you're full of air. And then slowly exhale all that out. Good. Go ahead and blink your eyes open. Come forward. All right, this is the last thing we're doing for this quick tip for the lower legs. Come to all fours. Okay. And now step your hands a little bit forward to the shoulders and lean forward. So you're almost doing like a plank on your knees. An easy plank. Don't work too hard. You're going to lift your right leg up and place the right knee into the meat of your left calf. Okay. And we're kind of going to make 4 passes here, starting from the inside of the muscle and working toward the outside. But we're going to connect it up with breath. And in a moment, I'm going to ask you to slide all the way down toward your ankle while pushing down with your knee into your calf. Be reasonable. Get in there as little or as much as feels appropriate on your body. Okay, go ahead and take a nice big inhale here with the shoulders roughly over the wrists. And then as you exhale, press down and slide that knee all the way down to the ankle. Good. And then as you inhale, come forward, bring the knee in a little bit so it's going toward the out rather a little bit, so it's going to the outside of the calf a little bit more. And then as you exhale, press down and roll all the way to the ankle. Good. 2 more. Come forward. Inhale. Exhale, press down and roll back. Good. 1 more. Now I'm toward the outside of the calf muscle. Come forward as you inhale. Exhale, slide down and back.
Good. And then nice and easy, we're going to switch sides. Place the right knee down, lift the left knee up. Place the knee into the meat of that right calf again. I'm toward the inside here. Take a big breath. Take a big breath. And then as you exhale, slide down and back. Good. Inhale, come forward, moving the knee a little off to the right. And then exhale, slide down. Oh, nearly, this one's tight. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, press down and back. Good. We got one more. Inhale, rock forward. Exhale, press down and back. Lovely. And then go ahead and come to a nice, comfortable sit.
So that's what I have for you. A little bit of self-care, love for the feet and lower legs. Next one, we're going to work up into the upper legs and hips. I hope you join me for that. Again, if you have any questions about any of this stuff, hit me up in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Cheers. Thanks for being here. Take care of yourselves out there.